Yeah, I recorded so the guys who do comic book rundown.
Yeah.
So they're doing like their basic show. They do like these things they call chitty chats, which is just like stop in and like talk about whatever.
Yeah.
And then now they're doing a review thing throughout the show too, and their goal is to watch every single comic book movie ever made.
Oh.
Like they even went back and watched the old like 50s Superman stuff.
Oh man. Did you? What did you get to talk to about today? Because I saw
Captain America 79.
Oh God.
Yeah, I forgot how bad that movie is.
So that's what you guys talked about.
Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be back for 2, right?" And I'm just like, "Oh God, yes."
I would love to talk about like the '60s Batman movie with those guys.
Yeah, unfortunately they already did that because they're going year by year.
Oh, okay.
So they did this, and now they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do an Incredible Hulk.
I mean, I know nobody wants to join that episode, but I would do the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Even the Rise of the Silver Surfer. Fucking. Oh.
So yeah, so now we're doing that, and then next month we're gonna do 2, and then I get a break because they're gonna have me back for the 1991 where you get Italian Red Skull.
Oh yeah,
which that one I'm legitimately excited for because like that one's kind of fun.
Kind of.
It's easy to make fun of too.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
I read a lot of comics this week. Everybody kept texting me that we did a great job with Derek Robertson.
Cool. That video did pretty good.
Yeah.
For us.
Nice.
So I was happy with it.
Cool.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 200.
We made it.
Did it, Mike? I am finally Chris, alongside Shazadam, Mike.
We can finally retire the podcast. It's been great, everybody. We'll see you next time. No, but we had a great episode 199 if you haven't checked that out. And now we're having an even better episode 200. I've been a long-time fan. We had sat down and had a great discussion with, you see his background behind me, Doc Shaner. So if you're reading Strange Adventures, you're going to want to hear this guy talk. Such a cool dude to sit down with us. Couldn't be happier to have him. I mean, Chris pitched it to him like, dude, 200 episode, it's going to be you. And yeah, I mean, we're just so fortunate to get these awesome and talented people on the show. So stick around for that discussion with Doc Shaner, man.
Yeah, great dude. And Mike doesn't know this yet, but thanks to everybody that did the congratulations for the intro. So you all have heard it already, and I want to thank everybody that gave us a little video saying thank you or congratulations for 200 episodes.
Yeah,
and yeah, it was a good episode for you guys because it was a lot of fun. We're at 200. We got cool guests, and we got some news.
Stuff
happened this week.
Yeah, let's jump into the news because I just want to hear Doc talk.
Oh yeah,
Doc talk. Oh man, I wish there could be a segment on our show.
I'm gonna give him a call now.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's got deadlines and stuff, and is working on some important stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll just jump into the news. I am in the middle of. I know we were going to talk about HBO Max, but I'm in the middle of watching The Little Things right now on HBO.
Is that the Denzel movie?
Denzel movie. I love how that's it doesn't matter what the movie is. You say Denzel movie and people are in. I love to watch that man chew gum and contemplate whatever he's doing in a movie.
I mean, he's such a fantastic actor.
I know. It's like he's so captivating. Anyways, but it's really good so far, and that's got Jared Leto and Rami Malek. So it's a killer cast, and HBO Max, worth the money. All right, well, now let's jump into that news that we got, Chris. We'll start with TV news. Marvel is adding another series to Disney Plus. Please don't raise the price. This one's called Kingdom of Wakanda, and the director of Black Panther 1 and 2, Ryan Coogler, is attached to the project. Yeah, so awesome.
Yeah. Wakanda's a cool, world inside of the Marvel universe, and there's some different things, and there's some cool stories you could tell in there.
Right.
So I'm down. I mean, Black Panther. The first Black Panther was a good movie. So,
and there's a lot of characters that you could talk about in a series. I feel like, I mean, you have so many interesting things going on within Wakanda, like you said, but also the different tribes and stuff like that. So,
yeah, I think it'd be cool if they did it like anthology style, and like every episode follows a different character. So like one episode is just the shopkeeper, what happens there, but then another one's just like the dude, raising the rhinoceroses with fucking vibranium armor on, and
like how does that even happen? Yeah,
I think that's awesome.
It's like a Dirty Jobs in Wakanda.
Dirty Jobs in Wakanda.
I'm Mike Rowe, and this is Dirty Jobs. Today we're making warrior rhinos. Oh please!
Oh please do that.
Please, Mike Rowe, call him up. Oh my god. Anyways. Yeah, so that's cool, and like you said, it could be an anthology series, but we know that like the Black Panther thing is a mantle, right, that you take up, so it could even be in another timeline.
Yeah.
Right? So
history of Wakanda. There's so many things you can do with it.
Right.
It'll be awesome.
So really cool. You get the first trailer for Marvel Behind the Mask. What did you think of that?
Looked cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what we expected of it.
Right.
A lot of the celebrities that are showing up in it look really cool. Like I forget his name, but the guy, like the main guy in Run DMC, is in it, and I'm down. I mean, it's a documentary series about Marvel and the heroes inside of it. So bring it on.
So you're all over that.
And I think this week or next week it's coming out. So
already? Really?
Yeah, it's really quick. So
okay. All right, now we get to the juicy part, the WandaVision talk of the show. So if you want to avoid spoilers, I mean, if you haven't watched it yet, it's Sunday for us. It's going to be Monday soon. So now, I know we said last time, if you were looking for more Marvel cookie cutter stuff, this episode is full Marvel cookie cutter. Like, we're in a Marvel movie, pretty much. But I would say with the seriousness of like Winter Soldier, like that heaviness of like, this isn't so like happy-go-lucky. I mean, right out of the gates, we find out Wanda goes in and steals Vision's dead body. That's what we're starting out. We're coming right out of the gates with that. Oh, that's how this episode's gonna go.
So. Yeah, I feel like my prediction after the first set of episodes was very spot on at this point. Like, even Wanda says at one point, like, I'm not quite sure how it started, but blah, blah, blah. Right. And I think it is, like, she got the body, and she went to mourn, and then created this whatever it is.
Right.
And now she's, like, controlling this world inside a bubble, all to deal with the mourning of losing the love of her life.
There's that. So, like, we get the interaction where she comes out and she's like, you guys need to leave me alone. But I think someone else is using her. And we'll talk about it. There's a couple of Easter eggs, obviously, but the episode deals with, like, her kids are like, well, why can't you bring back your, dead? You can't bring dead back, right? And, that's like something she's like, no, I can't do that. And then Vision starts to realize, like, something's not right about this place. And the scene where he takes the mind control off the worker that he's with, and the guy, like, freaks out, that was so, like, bone-chilling, of, like, oh my god, I'm in pain, I need to go, so who's taking care of my family while I'm gone? It's like, oh, yeah, these people have lives,
Yeah.
They're brainwashing.
I feel like the what do you call it, the idea that Mephisto was somehow behind it.
Oh yeah,
might be a correct in the fact that he's like Wanda makes a deal with the devil to bring Vision back.
Oh,
but then everything else is definitely her being like, now that he's back, I'm going to create the perfect suburban life for us.
But then we get to the interesting part where Quicksilver shows up at the end. So, and a lot of you are saying this could tie into the multiverse of madness. That's why I think someone else is involved, because she was mourning her brother, and she didn't know who was knocking at the door. Like, it seemed like a lot of the stuff she was in control of. Like, she was getting kind of um, cockier with the whole neighbor thing. Like, oh, she doesn't know. Like, if you want to change in front of her, that's fine. You know, she started getting that attitude about it. But the knocking at the door, and then we get the X-Men Quicksilver. You know, the Fox property, Fox trademark Quicksilver showing up from the X-Men series, so Days of Future Past, right? And she seemed surprised by it. So I don't know if this is a multiverse thing. I don't know if this is an illusion thing. But I feel like someone else is doing some multiverse or some type of like investigating into other worlds or other times and using her as like a mask for it. Or that was my idea behind it. Like someone else is doing other work here.
Maybe. Yeah, so they throughout this episode kind of lift the veil over from Vision to he's starting to realize like people are showing up at just the right time and like there's something else here. So like he's starting to understand that she's manipulating it somehow. And then when that happens, you're right. Like she doesn't know what's going on. And she even says to Vision, like, I didn't do this, I swear. It wasn't me this time.
Right.
I loved that he was who was at the door.
Yeah.
Because I never, that in a million years, that was not who I thought was going to be on the other side of that.
No, wait, I thought it was Quicksilver from, what's his name? The first one we see is Evan Peters, but the guy who played Kick-Ass is the original one from Avengers. But, you know, I can't. So and also it lines up perfectly because we're in the 80s in this episode, and he's from the 80s in Days of Future Past. That's another thing that lines up.
I did not make that connection.
So I don't know if this is a multiverse thing or if this is like a time thing. So now I'm even more confused.
I have read that she's like Wanda specifically is involved in Multiverse of Madness in some way.
Okay.
Like her character shows up. So
she could be the villain.
Maybe that's the turn they're going, like, because there's also all this, like, is she involved where it's kind of like a House of M thing, except reverse, where she creates the mutants. There's so many, like, theories going on around what she's doing. I could see them giving her the straight villain turn. And because at the end of the day, like, yeah, she was an Avenger for a little while, and she's kind of a hero, like, she's a hero, but not really. And even in modern comics, it's weird. But if you're going to bring the X-Men in, and in specific, you're going to bring Magneto in.
Right.
And then Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are the children of Magneto.
Right.
Why not give them the villain turn and just let her be the big bad for like Avengers movies moving up?
You bring something up. Okay, so we know she's brainwashing people. You know that House of M thing, we start creating mutants. Okay, I want to talk about this is done for a reason. The radiation engineer, and I can't remember the character's name, but she says, I know an aerospace engineer that she wants to contact for after they see all the things happening with the bubble. A lot of people are speculating that the aerospace engineer is Reed Richards. Right?
Yeah, and they even make it so that comment isn't just standalone to be like, hey guys, like she actually texts somebody.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that's the big thought. I think we talked the day it released, and I said if that's the big twist of the show, not only is that, because honestly they could end here and Quicksilver showing up could be the biggest twist of the show, and I'd be fine with that.
Right, exactly.
But if them showing Reed for the first time and who's playing Reed, and the fact that we have no idea who that is through all the news and everything would be huge.
It would be huge. And also it kind of goes in the fact that like she has these kids with her in the bubble, whether they're real or not, but also Quicksilver is created in this bubble somehow. People are getting powers, like the kids have powers. So if this like radiation gives people powers, maybe that's how they, like Fantastic Four, like the aerospace engineer is like, oh, well, I got a team, let me bring them into the bubble with me, and they get affected by the radiation and become like mutants, but they're actually the Fantastic Four now or something. Like they could really work this into instead of just when they fly up to space and get hit by sun rays. But yeah, it's better every week.
Well, that's why, as bad as that movie was, I like the origin that the Fantastic Four, the most recent Fantastic Four movie gave,
Right.
where it's like, go to the negative zone, hit by rays, you're now the Fantastic Four. Because then you can avoid the whole, like, they shot up into space, because it's very 60s.
Yeah, right. It's very, yeah.
Another thing that people have been pointing out is that Wanda's two boys, Billy and Tommy, are conveniently named. So, and they're aging up very fast, and it seems like it's on purpose.
Okay.
And that the MCU is slowly building up to the Young Avengers. So, the Young Avengers was a team that has been around here and there. Like, their biggest thing was in mid 2000s. They had a series that was really good.
Okay.
But Vision's a part of it. So if Vision does get reborn, bam, right there. Billy and Tommy, I'm forgetting exactly who they are in that team, but they're two of the members of the team are Billy and Tommy.
Oh, okay.
And then it's a big team, but I mean, Hawkeye's daughter is a member. The Hawkeye series, building her up.
Yep.
You got Kid Loki. I mean, how hard would it be to just make the Loki series end with him becoming Kid Loki?
Right.
And there's just a bunch of other characters that have been popping up. So I almost wonder if that's also part of it, that they're building up to like almost a Young Avengers-esque.
Crazy if they do.
Thing. Yeah.
Just one more thing. I mean, we could talk about this episode. I mean, we could talk about this show all episode, but the scene where like her and Vision are fighting, and she's deliberately trying to end the episode with the credits. That was great, and like, wow, she's like in control. But like, it reminded me of like Too Many Cooks, like.
Yeah, this episode, I said it last episode. If you were unsure about it and you watched last episode, and that doesn't hook you, you never get hooked. Mm-hmm. This is the confirmation for me, because they did a great job of twisting the sitcom-y life with the real world and mashing it together into an episode.
Yep. All right, movie talk. Warner Brothers Animation announces their next animated film will be Justice Society, World War II. So Chris is going to get to see some Nazis punched in the face. The movie will have Barry Allen, Flash, go back in time to team up with the JSA. They dropped a trailer and a release date. It's going to come digitally April 27th, and 4K Ultra Blu-ray combo pack May 11th. So is this hitting HBO Max, though?
I don't think so, which is weird.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, anything JSA we love, but also when you get Flash going back in time to punch some Nazis in the face.
It comes out, so the digital version comes out on my brother's birthday, which is also funny.
Yeah.
But my only complaint is this animation style that WB Animation is going with. I'm not a big fan.
Not a huge fan of that.
But the JSA fighting Nazis, bring it on.
Right. I know.
Just do it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that style either, but I wish everything could just be, Batman the animated series stuff.
If only.
Yeah.
I mean, WB Animation's had some cool animation styles throughout the years. I just think this most recent one isn't their best. Yeah. I don't hate it, but
it must be just like a quick way to do things, But
it's probably, because it feels very computer generated, or almost CG, like 2D CG'd.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's what it is. It's just
the problem for me. It almost looks like a Flash, not like Flash, the hero, like a Flash cartoon, because like you don't see facial expressions, or you kind of just see like their jaws moving.
Yeah.
That's what kind of takes me out of it. But either way, I'm gonna watch it because it's about the JSA. So. All right, let's jump to this awesome interview with Mr. Doc Shaner, Evan Doc Shaner, and we'll see everybody on the other side.
And we're on the other side.
Yeah, so, if you're not reading Strange Adventures, check it out. And go back and check out all the other stuff we talked about with him. I mean, he's an amazing artist and very humble dude, so, yeah.
And Future Quest rules. Everybody read it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember that like you can remember some events are like points in time when you're in the comic shop and like things are happening and like something's announced. And I remember that clearly of like what is going on, and then it ended up being like such a cool. The Hanna-Barbera properties they did such an awesome job with them.
Yeah, all those books were great.
And to hear like Darwin Cook was involved too is just really cool, you know.
Yeah, it's. I think I told him off air, and I'll just tell the story quick. It's unfortunate that, as much as I love Doc and I love the work that he did, it really is unfortunate that he didn't get to do some of these properties, whether it was Future Quest or whatever, because
right.
of course Darwin Cook would be involved with a Hanna-Barbera reboot. Like,
yep. All right, let's jump to the comic book news. DC has announced a new digital first comic series titled Let Them Live. The series will print unpublished work that was once canceled by DC. So the boys, it will feature an all new wraparound story featuring. Oh my god! Hold on. These are going to be all new wraparound stories featuring Ambush Bug. What? So wait, Ambush Bug is jumping in all of the. So that's like his thing. Is okay.
So, finish and I'll go.
Yeah. Issue 1 is going to have a Suicide Squad story from Jim Zub and Trad Moore and is already available exclusively on DC Infinite. So is that the premise? Ambush Bug's jumping around all these failed comic book series?
I think what it is Ambush Bug, because Ambush Bug is like DC's Deadpool, just not as successful.
Yeah, just not.
And he's going to like introduce what's going on. Because I saw some of the promo for it and some of the early like pages, and it's like it's him doing stupid things and being like, and look at this book here, and then like introducing the book.
Yeah.
And then they take these books that were like pitched at one point and probably finished, and then DC's just like, nah, we're not going to do this, and like threw it to the side. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Jim Zub and Trad Moore.
Right.
Like, that's a cool team up. I would like to check this one out. I'm not getting DC Infinite for it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But some of the other ones I saw were like, who is this?
Yeah.
Why? And like the issue 2 is a Nightwing story, so it's like it could have been Alan Moore's Nightwing, and I wouldn't care. So
yeah, this is an interesting approach they're doing. As far as like if they were to say, oh, you know, DC Infinite's going to have an exclusive Scott Snyder Batman, you know, digital story or something like that's how you'd get people to DC Infinite, I would think. But yeah.
Scott
Snyder. Yeah.
If issue 1 ever hits like Comixology or gets printed, I'll probably pick it up because I like Jim Zub and Trad Moore. But this is not a book that I'll be like, every week I gotta see what the next one is, because they probably got canceled for a reason.
Like the numbers weren't good. Mr. Miracle is getting a new 6-issue series by Brandon Easton with art by Fico Osio. The series is titled Mr. Miracle, The Source of Freedom, and it'll reintroduce the character with a new origin story. Interesting. This is probably has something to do with the New Gods movie. I would assume they're like, shit, we got to reboot this to... I mean, I'm not a fan of like reboots and continuity. There's not... I mean, he escapes from Apocalypse. Like, what more do you really need? You know?
Yeah, if you want to retell his origin, like everybody knows my opinion of this,
right?
So I'm not gonna go too much into it, but it's whatever. But if you're gonna like redo it when he's been around for how long?
Right, and it's not a bad origin. I thought he like the whole point is he's a great escape artist because he had to escape from the pits of Apocalypse. Like, I don't know, it seemed pretty good to me.
I'm definitely gonna. I mean, I'm not a New Gods guy to begin with, so.
Well.
But
yeah,
some New Gods, Mike.
Yeah, that's not the New Gods I want, but I guess I'll read it. It's sad that it's like a 6-issue series, and they're talking about doing his origin. So it's like, what can you really do out of the origin with 6 issues? So that's all it's going to be to me, you know. Okay. Marvel's holding a sweepstakes in which the lucky reader can get themselves drawn into a future issue of X-Men. Here you go, Chris. The sweepstakes is part of Marvel's Insider program, and it'll be going on until February 14th. Are you going to try to get in on that, or what?
I'm not part of their insider program.
Shame.
It's I mean, it's basically you buy things for way too much money on their website, and they give you points.
I'd rather throw money at Mr. Rob Stanley and get killed off in one of his books, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool. If you're an X-Men fan and you have Marvel Insiders program account already, and you have points stacking up, cool. Give it a shot. I mean, it's a cool idea. I just don't. I'm not a fan of their insider program. It seems to me like buy this stuff for way more than you could buy at a local comic shop, and we'll give you points on the back end where you get cool little knickknacks. It's like, how about no?
Moving on. Marvel has announced they'll be doing another Life Story comic series. This time with all the Fantastic Four as part of their 60th year anniversary. So anyone that doesn't know, Spider-Man Life Story followed the major events of Peter Parker's life and as if they had happened in real time. Each issue tackling a different decade. Fantastic Four Life Story is said to do the same and is written by Mark Russell. Wow. With art by Sean Izaakse. I do love me some Fantastic Four, and I love me some Mark Russell. So are they doing this for me? Because
So I think we talked about it when it was coming out. I really loved Spider-Man Life Story, and that's Chip Zdarsky joint.
Right.
So I thought it was a cool premise. It was a cool idea. When they announced this at first, I'm like, cool. So we're gonna get Life Story for everybody. And I wanted to not care, and then I saw Mark Russell, and now I care.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of like, and then they said Mark Russell, and I was like, whoa. All right.
So I'm most interested for the last issue because I just want to see old man Ben, just like his rocks turning gray because he's so old.
Oh my god! Please, yeah, that's awesome. That sounds awesome.
That's cool.
So with the Spider-Man one, they went up to like present day, right?
2000s, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It might have been 2010s.
Yeah,
but it's cool. Like they did the big reveal of Green Goblin, and they did Venom showing up for the 90s issue, and they did the Clone Saga for one of them, and so they hit like the big milestone events of Peter Parker's life.
Okay.
So yeah.
Now we know that Heroes Reborn just wouldn't be a comic book event book without tie-in comics. We had talked about that. That was our we were laughing when we announced this because we knew it was coming. Marvel announced this week a few of the tie-ins we can expect as part of the series. First is Young Squadron by Jim Zub, art by Steve Cummings. The series will follow Miles Morales, Kamala Khan, and Sam Alexander. The characters are going to find their new superhero identities in this world since they don't have Avengers to base their names after. So
yeah, Miles based after Spider-Man, Kamala Miss Marvel, Sam is Nova. So it's basically the champions, and they got to come up with different. They either follow different heroes or they come up with new ones. I mentioned this because I like Miles and I like the champions. So
what other name besides Spider-Man? You like Spider Dude?
I don't know. I think they said it was going to be Falcon was who he was going to follow. Because you think about it, like his powers, they come from radioactive spider, blah blah blah. They don't have to in this universe. And the big thing that makes him Spider-Man is web shooters. And he gets the web shooters from Peter.
Right. Yeah.
So what if he doesn't and he learns to fly instead? I don't know.
Second is Magneto and the Mutant Force by Steve Orlando, art by Bernard Chang. It's going to have Magneto, who's apparently in a floating wheelchair, a lot like someone else we know, as he takes over the Professor X role and leads mutants on a mission of hope. Okay.
This made me laugh because it's Magneto in a wheelchair just like floating himself in the air.
Yeah, because he's not using his mind powers, right? He's using his magnetic powers.
I don't know about this one. Whatever.
The third one's probably the most interesting, I think. Third is Hyperion and Imperial Guard by Ryan Cady, art by Michelle Bandini. This series looks like Marvel's twist on the Legion of Superheroes with Hyperion at the helm. Yeah.
I'll check this one out.
Yeah, this one sounds cool. And last for now, the last one announced is Peter Parker, The Amazing Shutterbug, by Mark Bernardin. Wait, what? With art by Raphael de la Torre. The series will place Peter Parker in the Jimmy Olsen role as he tackles life as a photojournalist. The Amazing Shutterbug. Oh my god. And Mark Bernardin, co-host of Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith. Okay, this might be the most exciting one. It's just him taking pictures.
I mean, sure, but
Yeah.
I mean, DC's made a living off of Jimmy Olsen is amazing, or Super Pal, or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. Yeah.
So is it God. Peter Parker's Hyperion's Amazing Super Pal?
Oh my god,
what's going on here? Sure, it is what it is, I guess.
Sure. Mark Bernardin though, so I'll probably end up checking it out.
Yeah, I can see at least two of them. There's two of them I will definitely check out. We'll see if Amazing Shutterbug's like a one shot, I'll check it out. But if it's anything more, probably not.
Yeah. With that, let's talk about the comics we read this week.
Yay, comics!
I read quite a bit, and I will say the only comic I didn't get to was my pick of the week, Shang-Chi.
Legend of Shang-Chi?
Yeah. Dude, I had because what filled its place? I read Constantine, Rise and Fall, all three of those issues, so that's what I ended up reading, because I read 1 and 2, and I'm like, well, I gotta finish the series this week. So I'll just talk about that. Constantine, Rise and Fall, 1 through 3 by Mr. Derek Robertson and Tom Taylor. Dude, this story, did you read it?
No, I didn't get to it.
It was probably one of the best DC stories I've read in the last couple of months. It's 3 issues, and it's Derek Robertson, like he talked about. It's gory as hell. It's really adult. It involves a story from John's past, and basically he loses a childhood friend. That childhood friend is now wreaking havoc years later as a demon. And what he did was he stole the wings from Lucifer, and what he's doing is he's going around and promising these billionaires you can get into heaven, and then he's killing them for their fortunes. So he's taking over billionaires' fortunes, and then his this demon feeds off of suffering of others. So the suffering is the trickle down economics of all these billionaires have money and everybody else is suffering because they're poor and they can't afford things. Sound kind of similar to I don't know. It's kind of close to home, but it's Tom Taylor writing it. Derek does a fantastic job with the demons and the characters, and there's some really sad moments with some side characters you meet. And there's just there's so many B and C side stories of Lucifer comes and talks with John, and they he makes them think they hooked up, he puts them in bed together and stuff, and he's like, oh my god, did I hook up with you and stuff, and he's like, oh no, you're not my type. It's just these little, it's a really fun series. It's really serious, but I think it's such a great John Constantine story. And yeah, it's such a good Constantine story. If you love this character, you got to read this series. It's 3 issues, and it's weird. It's not a typical Constantine story because he resolves all the issues with not more darkness and demons and stuff. He actually thinks about a point in his life when he was happy, and then rekindles his relationship with his father by the end of it. It's so good. It's such a great story. So, Tom Taylor, man, take my money. Okay, Future State, Dark Detective #2. This is Tamaki and Mora, and there's a Batman story, and then last issue we had it was a Grifter story, but now we have a Red Hood story. So basically Batman, he's back, and he's trying to take out all the magistrates, robots that have taken over Gotham. He's living with this old conspiracy theorist that's kind of off the grid. He's they're always watching, so he's living in, hat and all. Yeah, so he's living in this dude's basement because he'll be off the grid, which is kind of hilarious. But he finds out that they're using Wayne Tech mini drones to have eyes on everybody, so he thinks he's been spotted or being recorded. The B-side story, the Red Hood story, was actually I like this a lot more than the main story. This is Josh Williamson writing it, and Giannis on the art. So you have Red Hood and Ravager. Nobody knows Ravager is Deathstroke's daughter. They work with the magistrate as like bounty hunters to bring in masked vigilantes that don't want to reveal themselves. So one of the people that they bring in is they see like someone running around as the old Red Hood, like when the Joker was the Red Hood with the tall red mask. Come to find out, this guy was being controlled by the Mad Hatter, so they kind of like baited Red Hood into going after him. So they go to try to find Mad Hatter, and they find out he's dead, and it was a trap sprung for Jason Todd, so Magistrate's going to be like chasing them down. It was a really good issue. Future State Suicide Squad #1. Okay, this book is in. Did you read this?
No.
This is insane. This is Robbie Thompson and Javier Fernandez. The art is amazing. So this is the Justice Squad, not the Justice League. It starts off with them thwarting some villains like Talon, Hypnotic. Oh, so this the Justice Squad is made up of Talon, Hypnotic Woman, Fisherman, Australian, who is Bolt from Teen Titans, I think, is basically a speedster, and they're basically like fighting, and the Justice Squad's being controlled almost like they're being controlled by Waller, like a Justice or like a Suicide Squad, so a Justice Squad. But there's a part where like Talon like takes pride in like killing people or like fun in killing people, and he's like not taking orders, so they decapitate him, like his head blows up, like Suicide Squad. So Talon's dead. We find out that the Superman is just Superman running it is a clone of Luthor and Superman. And we find out that Martian Manhunter is like Clayface because he could like morph and stuff. So it's a really interesting take on this. You would actually really like it. So we get this conversation after they, thwart some villains that Waller wants Superman to lead more like Lex Luthor and less like Superman, like with an iron fist. And then as they're talking, she has like these backup tanks with heroes that she can pull from. Well, she has the crime syndicate in tanks saying like, I'm going to be using them. And they're like, well, how are you going to be able to control them? And then she says, I have the Black Lantern ring. So, and that says to be continued in the Crime Syndicate book. So we might be getting a crime syndicate that's controlled by the Black Lantern, so like a zombie crime syndicate almost.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's crazy stuff happening. So the Suicide Squad, we are on Earth 3, is what it says. We're on Earth 3. There's a Suicide Squad that shows up from another Earth because that's Amanda Waller is from their Earth, and they want to rescue her back. This Suicide Squad is actually led by Peacemaker and a bunch of others, like Mirror Master's in it. There's a Parademon that's in it. Yeah, so they're there.
Just a random Parademon.
Yeah, they don't really tell who anybody else is, but. So anyways, like they're there. So that's what the story is. The Suicide Squads come to another Earth where there's a Justice Squad and they want their Amanda Waller back. It was a crazy issue. And that's not even it. The second story in the issue, Chris, is Justice League 1,000,000. Yeah. It's a Justice League 1,000,000 story. So crazy story. Superman Prime shows up. And so it's a it's a Black Adam story that takes place in the Justice League 1,000,000, the 1,000,000 universe. It's by Jeremy Adams and Fernando Pasarin, but it's crazy. So Superman Prime shows up. He's greeted by the 7 deadly sins and Lords of Chaos, like Vandal Savage is teamed up with a bunch of people. The art is amazing. So basically, if they kill Superman Prime and the Justice League 1,000,000's like, well, how can we face these people? We're not even that strong. Come to find out, Wonder Woman's like, well, I used to hook up with Black Adam, so let's go talk to him. Black Adam is actually Teth Adam. He's like given up the mantle of Shazam, and he pretty much has taken Kandak and made them a leader in technology. He's like thrown away magic and now he's embraced technology. It's a really cool take on the character. So basically, by the end of it, they're trying to fight the seven deadly sins. Well, Black Adam shows up to help them, but the Justice League gets possessed. So the Justice League 1 million gets possessed, and then at the end of all of this, Chris, I know there's a lot of comic book stuff going on. Gold Beetle shows up and says that she can save the universe. So she's in a time sphere. This character that's a cross between Booster Gold and Blue Beetle shows up. Yeah, called Gold Beetle, and she's like, I can save the universe. These stories are so crazy, but the amount of characters you get to see, I'm so interested to see what's going to happen with this universe.
Did I ever? I can't remember if I told you this, but like a year, well, no, it was longer, a year ago.
Yeah.
Like probably 2 years ago, somebody came into the comic shop and had sold the retailer his collection, and I went through it with him. We're just sitting there, and he had a complete Justice League 1 million set.
Yeah.
And I bought it off of him.
I know.
So I have Justice
League.
League.
You have it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's such a cool series.
Yeah. I want to get that book now.
Yeah, and then I got a few more books here. Stay with me, people. Future State, Harley Quinn #2, Stephanie Phillips represent, and Simone DeMeo. Not a whole lot to say about this issue. It's a great issue. Good job, Stephanie. Harley's been working with Crane to catch. They want to catch Black Mask. Harley tricks Crane into thinking the only way he can catch Black Mask is if he puts his mask on and becomes the Scarecrow. So he does. And then he gets arrested, and so does Black Mask. So she basically gets them both arrested and gets away, which is a Harley Quinn thing to do.
It was a really great issue.
Yeah, it was a great job.
I love the art in it, too. I love the artist style with the colorist and the neo cyberpunk-y Gotham really works.
Yep. Then we have Future State Swamp Thing #2, Ram V and Mike Perkins. So we remember Obsidian is being held captive by Woodrue. We do find out it was Woodrue, Jason Woodrue. His body's half plant, half human. It's really messed up. He's trying to imbue his body with plant matter, and he looks like he's falling apart. And Swamp Thing is regrouped with this other human. We find out that the things that Swamp Thing has created are just creations of himself, his emotions. And this whole issue that's happening is he can't create a soul, right? So that it gets really existential. It's he's creating these living plants that are kind of parts of his personality, but none of them have souls. So that's why he thinks it's so important to save the human race, even though the plants think it's you shouldn't do that. So Woodrue's plan is to take Obsidian and block out the sun and kill all the plant matter. So at the end, Swamp Thing sacrifices himself to create a tree of life kind of thing that the humans can live off of. And we get in the future, there's, they're living in the tree's roots and stuff, and they find a plant and they say, do you think Swamp Thing will ever come back? And I think that's kind of a hint that he will come back. It's a great story though. And then the best book I read this week, Avengers Mech Strike #1.
Fuck yes, it is.
Oh my god. Jed MacKay, Carlos Magno. Every page of this book was an absolute blast. Amazing art. Carlos Magno on the art, dude. This guy gets a standing ovation. Amazing art. And what is the story? You get a biomech kaiju attacking. Black Panther jumps inside him to kill him from the inside out. He's like, hey, vibranium hurts the kaijus. All right, well, let's make mech suits out of vibranium. What more do you need out of a comic book? This is a comic book to its roots, and I loved it.
And I love everybody's just Iron Man goes, yeah, I got an idea, and come here, and gives him this little wristwatch.
Right.
And they're like, what is this about? And they walk into a room, and there's giant fucking mechs for each Avenger.
They're Megazords.
And
they're Megazords.
And I can't remember. I think it was Spider-Man. It might have been Black Widow. But they're like, well, how'd you do this so fast? And Iron Man being Iron Man, just like Batman being Batman. It's just oh, yeah, that was something I did a while ago. I was thinking about it. Why not?
Right.
It's
yeah.
Oh my god, I love this issue. I love this book.
Yeah.
It fit everything. It's the
Right.
Avengers. There's kaiju involved.
Robots.
They all get mechs at the end of the book.
Right.
Give me issue 2 now.
Yeah, and you better believe they're all going to combine.
Oh my god, that'd be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they all have to combine. They have to combine. There's no way they don't.
It's everybody check it out. Like Mike said, that the art is stunning.
Yeah.
Just stunning how good it is.
Yeah.
Who's the artist on that again?
I have it looked up here. Hold on. It is Carlos Magno. Yep.
Carlos, do more books like that. I was blown away by it. And the story's like simple, but it's fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's so fun.
I loved it. Yeah.
And that's all I had this week. So
I had King in Black, Black Knight #1, and kind of sucked. I was a little disappointed by this one. It tackled too much of Black Knight's kind of like inner struggle and how he deals with his past and blah blah blah. But it did kind of rewrite some of his history, which I can see now what they're going to do with their miniseries tying out of this. But they end up meeting up with Arrow and Swordmaster in Japan, and they fight a giant dragon. And they all realize, like, well, Tony's been calling us back to New York, so let's go help and save him. So he's probably going to show up in King in Black proper, because the Ebony Blade can kill these dragons, these symbiotes. All in all, I wasn't a big fan of the issue, but it was cool to see Black Knight back. I love that character, so.
Yeah.
Avengers #42, continuing the Enter the Phoenix story arc. And so, Mike, our two favorite Marvel characters fight. We get Captain America with inside of the Phoenix, this universe the Phoenix created to make them fight. Captain America fights Shang-Chi.
Oh my god, are you serious?
And as they're fighting, Cap just keeps egging them on, like, come on, punch me already, punch me, because they don't really want to fight each other, but they're being forced to.
Right.
And Cap even says, like, if anybody has to hold the Phoenix Force, my vote goes to you, Shang-Chi, because you can control great amounts of power with your stuff.
That's awesome. With your stuff.
I really, with, like meditation and
right.
and all that crap.
With your stuff.
But that moment made me smile, because I'm like, this is Mike and my favorite characters.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
And we kind of get a continuation of like what's going on, and we get a look at what's going on outside of this like pocket universe the Phoenix has created. And Wolverine shows up and kind of gives the old like, how dare you humans, because you've taken so much from mutants, you're not taking this from us too, so I'm going to control the Phoenix Force. And he ends up fighting the Hulk. She-Hulk, actually. And that's, it's basically been like, how can we get two characters to fight each other, the book. But it's been fun. And then the last book I read was Star Wars The High Republic #2.
Nice.
After the whole ceremony from the last issue, we continue with our lead character, who is now a Jedi Knight, as they go to find out in the Outer Rim. The ship's been attacked, and they're trying to figure out who did it. And we get our big villain, which is like a space pirates, I guess. And they have a history with the new Jedi Knight's master. So they end up going to fight. He gets sent off to another planet by the council to go investigate, and she has to stay behind because one of the people in their squad got hurt, so she's got to protect him. And we end up finding out there's more to it than that. I like the High Republic was cool. It's Star Wars without the bogged down nature of the Skywalker saga. And we're getting some cool, like, you're seeing things you didn't see before. You're seeing planets that aren't a part of the Republic then, but are now. So you're seeing the history of the Star Wars universe come to pass, and I'm really enjoying it.
Awesome.
That's all I got, Mike. But before we end, everybody listening, you saw that we have new artwork for the podcast. Hopefully it popped on iTunes like it's supposed to. That is all now available on our TeePublic. So teepublic.com/FortressComics. You can get t-shirts with it. hoodies, whatever, pillows, if you want to do that.
Pillows would be sweet.
So that's all available, and it should still be on sale for like 20% off through the end of the night. So yeah, go check that out.
I like that.
But with that, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
Find me at Fortress Chris on Twitter. You can find the show at Fortress Comics _ on Twitter or at FortressComicNews.com. And as always, patreon.com/FortressComicNews, where you can be the super mega listener there. Awesome. If you're listening to us, 5-star reviews on whatever podcatcher you're using. If you're watching, to like, subscribe, share, comment down below. Chat with us. We like to talk.
Yeah.
And as always, share with a friend.
Sharing's caring.
Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Thanks, Mike, for 200 awesome episodes.
Thank you.
200 more, my friend.
Thank you for all the hard work and dedication you've given to the podcast, and I just kind of sit here and bullshit with you. So you're the brains behind the operation. So
thank you. So see you all next week.